My name is Robert Eidus. I'm president of the North Carolina Ginseng and Golden Seal Company at Eagle Feather Farm. I also have a company called Joshua Tree Seed Company and have produced a strain of cannabis oil, which is out in California, where it's legal. Cannabis oil and hemp oil are confusing. People think that what cannabis oil can do, hemp oil can do. And we're going to go real fast through why that's not true. They're called the same plant, however, they're both grown differently. So with hemp, you have male and female. With cannabis, you only have female. With hemp, you're growing for stalk and seed. With cannabis, you're growing for flowers for medicine. Different time frames, different plants, different ways of doing things. However, cannabis is a bioaccumulator. And it will, if it goes up 8, 10, 15 feet, it will go down into the ground that far and bring up toxin elements. So, number one, why you don't want to eat hemp. And historically, 2014, the Farm Bill came in and hemp was created in the United States after lying to us in 38 and getting it back in 42 and then lying to us again after the war. Cannabis and hemp are not the same, and nobody in the world eats hemp before 2014. Zero. Nobody. Why? Toxic plant and also toxic processing. You got toxic plant and toxic processing possible. There are some processing that is not toxic. But when you grow cannabis, you're growing it in a pot that you know exactly what everything in that is. And if you've ever seen these large fabric pots, you can understand how you can grow it outside and still put all the dirt in that you know is going to bioaccumulate in the plant. That's the first thing. The second thing is that cannabis has a very unique relationship between its compounds. You need so much THC to activate so much CBD, and vice versa. You need so much CBD to activate so much THC. With hemp, you're at an artificial level of 0.3 that Mitch McConnell and his boys fixed up, and it is not enough THC to activate the CBD. So what you're doing is you're paying for the CBD, but you're not getting it. So it's a fake, it's a fraud, and we should have cannabis here in North Carolina so we can have cannabis oil. And the way that it probably will happen is nationally, we're going to have a way to have both hemp and marijuana legal in all 50 states. So I have a document called Fake Medicine that's at my booth over here next to the Canary Coalition, and you're welcome to it. And pass it around widely if you can. Okay, so now we're going to slide from there into what I consider the more important aspects of what we have to get through coming up in life. So basically this talks about taking back your power to heal yourself through food, breath, movement, water, and medicine. Major diet changes using herbs and wild edible plants, mushrooms and nuts need to be part of our diet. The new UN study says we as human beings need to change what we grow and what we eat. Research is showing that previous thoughts were not as it was stated to us. I remember as a child when they said you need to drink 3 glasses of milk a day. Give me a break. You know, a cow And the calves, it's perfect for. They have a digestive system that works. For humans, it's not that great. And what we have now, though, is the availability of nut milk, which we didn't have before. Almond milk, soy milk, coconut milk. And so we're going down those paths. Same assimilation process goes for gluten, but there are numerous grains that do not have gluten now that are on the market. Another big change is how we view sugar is also with us. Years ago, sugar was used on an occasion like birthdays, not at every meal. Now we need to go back to honey and other natural foods that have low glycemic ratings. Sugar is a white processed powder that is cheap and addictive. I believe sugar is one molecule away from cocaine, also a white processed powder. As society, we are learning the hard way that our bodies cannot assimilate certain foods. As a society, we should not be drinking sugar-laden drinks. Most foods served in restaurants mix carbohydrates and proteins, which confuses the body, not knowing which enzyme to enter the stomach and causes gas and bloating. Meat and potatoes are an excellent example, which is often offset with pharmaceutical products which will cause a perfect storm in your stomach with the ability of your stomach not to break down the foods. But even if you go to restaurants and special order or choosing wisely does not take into account the canola oil with GMOs or the aluminum frying pans or the microwaves or the nitrates to make lettuce very green. The new path is to cook for yourself and others, knowing what is the organic food and staying away from all processed foods. You are in control of what you eat. Do not be influenced by marketing. If a product is good, it does not need to be heavily marketed. Taking the new stresses of our society in a positive way. Yoga and movement. New studies show that movement is very important to health. Take the time every 20 to 30 minutes to get up and move around. The stretching of a yoga class once a week can make you feel better for the whole week. Obviously, movement or yoga daily is best. Too much time watching the computer or internet or TV, plus the time on our phones, is not good for positive thoughts. Meditating and watching your breath, deep belly breaths to happen. You are in control of your breath. Do not put it on autopilot with short breaths that will cause stress and high blood pressure. Readjusting our concept of using and purifying water. It was the Europeans that created indoor toilets, but it was the Americans that created a single system for water. One of the enlightenments that a Native American pointed out to me is the single system of water usage that purifies all water coming into the household or home. Thus, white men and women would be okay with defecating in perfectly good drinking water. This has to change. This out-of-date system needs change since we established this system because of cheaper costs, not because of environmental things, and not using water economically. One of the easiest and less expensive ways to change your pattern with water is with rain barrels. The concept of harvesting rainwater was part of the pioneer era, which has been forgotten by most people. Being able to water your plants with rainwater or any other non-drinking opportunity is a start in the right direction. From there, we can go to gray water projects, which can take showers and washing machine waste and place it in the garden. Also, we can create ways to allow the rainwater to percolate into the ground and not be carried off of the site with French drains, swells, and cisterns. Although water catchment is slightly expensive, it will allow you to have water when you need it and no matter what the weather is like. Controlling your water is empowering. While we are on water, plastic bottles are not good, and most Americans now have plastics in our blood, and the plastic water bottles do not help. You can control what liquids are entering your body by taking control of your health. Then we need to travel that supports this new environmental aware lifestyle. We as a country and a planet will need to get off of fossil fuels as soon as possible. We've been lied to about gasoline and need to practice conservation by sharing the drive through public transit, walking more, using bicycles, and converting to electric vehicles. I do not think our current system can support our planet. Fracking needs to stop destroying our groundwater as we move to a more sane, renewable choices. If you understand that life-changing activities need to start now, and what is true in the past is not necessarily the correct direction we want to go, I hope this motivates those hearing these statements to begin the process of changing our country and planet by taking back what you put into your mouth, food or drink, controlling your breathing and movement, and developing a water system that gives you independence from the present mistakes we are living through. Of course, I would not want to forget taking supplements, both minerals and herbs, and taking of herbs should be on a daily basis for the tonics and recuperates when you're out of balance. I would encourage everyone to develop a medicine chest of plants in your garden. Grow the plants that help you be healthy outside your door, even if they are in containers. This is the wrap up. Become proactive in your lifestyle and practice and avoid some of the bumps in the road that lies ahead. Thank you.